Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here. We have a pretty exciting call for you on how to basically rethink leads. And we had a prior call on this, probably I don't know, maybe like a month or so back. But we've had a handful of pretty exciting updates since then that we wanted to really kind of show off. And I think you guys will really enjoy this, and it really will kind of like change the game when it comes to getting leads online. And we'll show off all the stuff and all those updates we've done in just a little bit here. But we want to start by giving you a little bit of info on kind of like the 4 ways to basically profit off of cold leads, and a little bit more, info on what a cold lead is. So most of you probably know, but you might be thinking, well, what is the real difference between a warm lead and a cold lead, and when and why to use both? Well, a warm lead is usually someone that knows you, that's kind of warmed up to you. They know who you are and what you offer and all that. Whereas a cold lead is someone that doesn't really know about you or know of your product yet. Now, the problem is, warm leads are great, but the major issue is obviously, there's way more people that could benefit from your stuff than that know about you. So, at some point in time, almost all leads are basically cold. So, it'd be great to have, like a million warm leads, but unless you're spending a ton of dough, with a ton of ads, you just won't get to that point right there. Whereas if you approach a cold lead that could really benefit from what you're basically offering, you could turn those in to warm leads and turn those in to sales and stuff. So both can work really well. And similar to that, I just want to also clarify, there's different kinds of leads. There's B2C leads and B2B leads. So B2C stands for business to consumer. So that's like if you're selling, let's say flowers, okay? If you're selling flowers to someone that's about to go on a date, that'd be something you're selling to a consumer. Whereas if you're selling like, wholesale flowers to, let's say, a greenhouse, that would be a B2B lead, or basically someone that would distribute the flowers for you. Now, oftentimes the B2B leads are completely overlooked, but it's a big mistake. And there's a couple reasons to that. Which one do you think will make you more money? Selling flowers to someone about to go on a date, or selling flowers to a greenhouse that not only would need a bunch more flowers all at once, but probably on a recurring basis as well? Obviously, it's a no-brainer answer to say the B2B lead's probably worth a heck of a lot more. And on top of that too, it's oftentimes easier to start selling to B2B leads because they're willing to pay more often to get their problems and such solved. And on the consumer side, it's actually getting harder and harder to compete on the consumer side, but in a lot of cases, it's even easier to compete on the business side. So here's a question, here's an example. So let's say you were selling, I don't know, let's say you were selling a mug, okay? So you had a cool mug, maybe it had like some art on it or like a cool saying or like a joke on it. And, if you're going to sell this mug, or let's say you're looking to buy a mug, that's probably a better example. So, if you're looking to buy a mug, where do you go? You go to Amazon, okay? You probably don't do a lot of searching on Google. If you're looking to buy almost any kind of a consumer product, you go to Amazon. And if you're on Amazon, you're competing against everyone else. So if you're selling that mug, you're competing against a bunch of other guys, and everyone can see exactly what you're doing, what you're selling, and so forth. And pretty much for almost any kind of consumer product out there, there's some kind of big monopoly. Like basically Amazon is pretty much almost any kind of consumer product out there. So you're competing against a ton of guys, and it's really hard to kind of land those consumer sales, which, in this case would be like a $10 thing. Whereas on the business side, if you have a problem that you're looking for a solution on, like let's say, using the same mug example, let's say you're a sports complex or you're a business and you're looking to get custom mugs. that have your logo and stuff on it. Where do you go? Guess what? You probably don't go to Amazon, because like realistically that basically caters to consumers. They're not ones that basically cater to someone about to buy like 5,000 mugs with like a logo and stuff on it. You'd probably do like a Google search, or you'd search for mug makers, or something along those lines right there. So it's easier to actually compete on the B2B side. There's a lot more opportunities still, and there's a lot of businesses, again, that are willing to pay to get their problems solved. So we'll talk a bit about what you can do there to sell your own products or services to leads that are willing to pay, and how to really pinpoint the leads that you can be of most help to, that are more likely to buy from you, even if they are a cold lead to start with. So a little bit about us. So once again, my name is Brian Kaz, and I've been online for, as most of you know, gosh, about well over a decade, probably more like 17 or 18 years. And my partner Sean has been online, I don't know, probably like 20 plus years, maybe even 25 years, probably because he is a good amount older than me. I think he was online back when I was probably in middle school or high school even. So back when the internet was first around right there. And between the two of us, we have sold over $100 million online. We've been in a variety of niches, and we've been regarded as experts on lead and traffic generation. And we're about to share some cool stuff with you that I think will really kind of essentially open up your eyes to new possibilities with leads that I've never really seen shared elsewhere. Because I'm going to share with you a new way to envision leads. So you want to really view the internet as one giant lead generator. Okay, there are literally millions and millions of people online every day, asking all sorts of questions, looking for all sorts of stuff, needing all sorts of stuff done, whether they're looking for a solution, or whether there's something like glaringly wrong with like their website or whatever, where you can tell, hey, they might need something that you can offer, or even if it's like, let's say you have a certain product that would be a killer in a certain niche. There's tons of people out there in that niche just walking around, browsing around online right now, and you need to start to try to treat the internet as a lead generator. Instead of people just having fun and playing games and stuff like that, you want to envision it as a way like, hey, there's millions of eyeballs out there every day online, and a lot of them could be needing exactly what you could be selling. And instead of waiting for them to come to you, we're going to show you some ways where you can go to them. So there's really 4 main ways of basically profiting off of these kinds of leads. So off of either cold leads, or like, and that will include some B2B leads. I'll talk a little bit more about some B2C leads as well, and when those can be good. But we're going to first focus a bit on the B2B leads and the cold leads. And there's 4 main ways of profiting off those leads. And the funny part is, in half of those ways, you don't even have to sell to them. In fact, in more than half those ways, you don't even have to sell to those leads. In fact, in some cases, you can make a lot more by not selling to them. And I'll explain that in just a bit. Way number 1, which is probably the most obvious way, which is probably the only way that the majority of people think, is to target business leads with a very relevant, no-brainer offer in a personal way. So it's basically to, essentially target and sell them something. So this could be like, let's say you help rank websites, or you help get leads, or you're a financial advisor, or something along those lines. You would basically target websites or businesses or people that you think would most need your services, or your products, and you'd make an offer to them directly. Wouldn't always have to be like selling. I mean, it could be like, hey, you make an offer for like a free website and analysis, which could lead into a sales pitch, but you make some kind of an offer to them. Now, there's a couple tricks to actually dealing with these leads well and getting better results. And the main thing is to try to basically personalize it, to like kind of make that cold lead just a little bit more warm. And there's a couple ways of basically doing this. One way is what I call the blank for blank method, and that is if you help rank websites, let's say, and this is just an example, you can do this in like any niche or any service or any product that you could dream of in most cases. But let's say you help rank sites. Instead of saying that you help rank sites, you could say that you help rank sites for dentists, or you help rank sites for massage therapists, or or you help rank sites for roofers, or whatever the business that you're trying to target that day is. You can say you specialize in helping sites rank for them. Or in the financial advising, you can say you specialize in financial advice for salesmen at car dealerships, or whatever it might be. Now, one thing that you can do to help kind of expand that is when you reach out to leads like this, using the example of helping websites rank, you could record basically a screen of yours where you're basically doing a search on Google, and you search for, let's say, dentist, Atlanta, Georgia, or whatever area you're trying to basically target, and you can say, hey, here's why some dentists rank and here's why some don't. The guys that rank well tend to have the keyword in their title, tend to have it in their description here, they tend to use it on their site, they tend to use a schema, they tend to do this, this, and that. The guys that are at the bottom of page 1 or on page 2 or 3 are not even ranked at all, tend not to have this, as you can see right here. And you don't have to show off their specific site, but just by you saying that, they'll say, oh, aha, he knows what he's talking about. He's not just saying, I can help you rank. He's saying, hey, here's why some guys rank, here's why some guys don't, and here's basically an example completely relevant to their own business. That can work really well, and naturally, even though you're telling them what's wrong and how to fix that stuff, like 99% of them still don't know how specifically to do it, or they don't want to take the time to. So you can naturally have it's essentially an offer, like a pitch there, where they can try to take you up on that. So that's a pretty cool way to get some sales there. Now, here's an extra tip for more money-making opportunities. You can also, along these lines, sell specific leads to others as well. So you don't just have to do this kind of service for yourself. You could go to almost any kind of business out there and basically ask them, hey, what kind of leads do you work with? Or like, I have a friend who has like an IT, like essentially like a tech firm almost, and he works with tons of other businesses, but his favorite ones tend to be like law firms and stuff like that. I have another friend that tends to work a lot with basically CFOs of car dealerships and such like that, where you can, with literally, I'll show you how in just a bit, with a touch of a button, you can find those leads, and then you can sell it to them for top dollar, because they're used to paying in a lot of cases several dollars a lead for results that aren't even all that great or like super outdated, where you can get stuff for a tiny fraction of that in real time, and a lot more data as well. And that's a pretty neat thing right there, and I'll talk more about that in just a bit. So way number 2 is to target media leads. So remember how I said, not all of these methods involve even selling. This is one that does not involve any selling at all, and it can work in any niche, whether it's B2B or B2C or anything. So you target media leads. This can be blogs, journalists, news sites, radio, TV, and so forth. And what you do is you want to reach out to them to try to gain free exposure for you, your brand, your product, and so forth. You can offer a free article or blog post or news piece that they can use and basically edit as they wish. Now, here's a cool trick. I actually had a client of mine that actually used this since I think it was either, I know it was from at least the 70s, may have even been in the late 60s too. So has been basically doing it a long time. And obviously for, several decades, it was before the internet was even like around or used. And you basically do it the old way by like mailing, a letter out and then faxing, and only later would it be essentially email. But he would send a free article or free, essentially news piece or blog piece or, magazine article. He'd send them one like each week. He'd send one to like a handful of, editors and reporters and stuff like that specialized in his area of expertise. And he would say, hey, feel free to use this article anytime you want. Feel free to make any kind of edits you want or anything like that. And what would happen is oftentimes, these reporters and these editors, they would be responsible for like, writing stories and articles and stuff. And sometimes they would be responsible for some extra pages that they would kind of have like a last minute notice on, like, hey, like this month, you have 1 or 2 extra pages in this section right here. So they'd have to fill it with something. And if their choice is, hey, write a new piece yourself, research it, do all the writing, pick the topic and all that, that takes a lot of time. Or they could go the easy way and just use what you sent them. Maybe make a handful of edits if they want. And it would actually give you free publicity, because it could mention you, or your product or business or your site and stuff like that, because it would have you as like basically an expert where you'd answer like a couple questions. And as long as you didn't have the piece be entirely about promoting you and like basically bragging about you and nothing else, as long as it was a good news piece or a good article, you would have a very good chance of eventually getting that free exposure there. And he said for all those decades, at least once a week, he would be published in some news piece, either a newspaper, or like a magazine, or it would result in like an interview on radio or TV. And this was for, again, decades long. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this to the same extent, but even if just once a month you reached out to a handful of relevant news sites and blogs and reporters and stuff, in your niche, and you followed the exact same trick here, that could work amazingly well. Now, there's an extra trick that you can do with this as well. So I'm sure some of you have thought of this. If not, you should be. You could turn it into a service for top dollar, like essentially a PR service. So that means that you could have a service that you say, hey, for $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, you could take basically an article of the client's and you could submit it to several news places and several reporters and media outlets and stuff on their behalf. And it's super easy to do as long as you have all those leads. So without those leads, it's a lot of work. But I'll show you how in a matter of like a minute, you can literally get all those leads you could possibly want and literally turn this into a service that you can sell for thousands of dollars. In fact, we actually have a client that actually does almost this exact same thing. And I think the lowest service he's ever sold this for was like $500. Most of them would be, within the thousands. But his highest one was about $1 million for a single sale doing this kind of service right here. So the average one, I think, was in like, a few $1,000s or so, but still a lot of money, right there. Doing work that, again, I'll show you in just a bit how anyone can actually do in a matter of like a minute or two, very, very easily. So way number 3 is to reach out to leads of businesses or people that you could partner with or do white label deals with. Now, some of you are probably asking, well, what is a white label deal? So white label basically means where if you have a product or service, and if you don't, I'll give you a tip in a second here that it doesn't even matter. But if you have a product or service of your own, you basically allow someone else to sell it or market it under their own name. So you don't care, if they say, hey, this is, a web ranking service by Bob, and your name's Sarah, you don't care, as long as you get paid. And, that's, I've done a lot of those where, I'll have, some kind of service or software or report or something where someone else would sell it as their own, but I would be collecting a good chunk of the money on the back end just for having that and allowing them to basically market it in their own name. And it's a win-win because you win because you get paid for not having to market or do anything like that. And it's a win for them because they get paid for something that they don't have to make or maintain or do any support or anything with. So they can just send like, you know, a mail out or have like a little ad basically added or whatever, and they can make a lot of sales because they have access to oftentimes a lot of prospects that are eager to buy stuff, but they don't always have a lot of stuff to sell to them. And this has been one of the most underutilized techniques out there, and it's been something that has been responsible for actually making me a ton of money. I mean, tons and tons and tons of money. Now, and it's one of the biggest things I recommend that you guys look into. Now, how do you reach out and go about these deals? So first, you want to offer a big cut. And by a big cut, I mean like ideally, there are exceptions, but ideally you want to shoot for basically offering them at least half. If you can offer them more, great. The more you can offer, the more likely you are to have a deal to take place. Or you can have them like basically charge any price that they want as long as they pay you X amount. You know, that can sometimes work as well if your price is right. But you also want to make it as hands-free as possible. So you want to have it so you have to do literally like no work. You do everything for them if they want right there. So you can basically take care of the customer support, you take care of the fulfillment, you take care of everything. Maybe you even give them like a template as a sales page, and if they want to change anything, they can. But the second you ask them to do work, it's less appealing to them, and they're more likely to just say, man, you know, I could do the work of making a service or a product like this myself and not even have to worry about, you know, this, you know, about sharing or essentially paying a cut or anything like that. But if you make it hands-free, they're like, oh man, I get paid to literally do nothing, not be responsible for anything. You know, a lot of people jump on that. And you want to really ideally target these leads with ones where they're mutually beneficial. So, you know, you don't want to try to do a white label deal with like someone where, you know, you can't really make them a lot of money and they can't really make you a lot. You want to find ones where, hey, they have access to a lot of people, they can get a lot of sales, they can make a lot of money hands-free, and likewise, you know, you can as well. Or you can try to reach out to ones that might not sell a service or a product like what you have, but are in a similar market where there could be a huge benefit. Kind of like using the SEO example, if there's like a web design firm that does not do any SEO, they could be a very good mutually beneficial thing. Or if you, or if there's like, let's say, someone out there that helps people write books or be a bestseller or stuff like that, you could reach out to them and make a white label deal for like a PR service where you basically offer the example that I just gave you. And that by itself, I mean, that right there, guys, that could be a huge deal right there. I literally just handed an awesome idea to you right there. And you can do this with almost any niche and almost anything that you want. You could actually turn the ideas I just gave you into white label deals as well. So again, just several examples I just, you know, gave you right there. And again, these can work really well. So whether you have like a white label PR service for, you know, a place that helps writers or helps people be a bestseller, or you do an SEO service for like a web design firm, or, you know, whether, let's say you have some like you know, one of my best examples here is I had some software that was really good at basically doing like leads and stuff in one niche, and I did a white label version in the real estate investor side, which I didn't know a ton about that niche, but that actually went on to do over $1 million, and that was just a single deal. And it can become a business all by itself. So just one single deal here can be an entire business by itself. So without me having to market anything, it did over $1 million in just a few months' time with just a single deal by someone that could really use the product that I had. And the cool part is, on top of that, is, you know, some of you are saying, well, what if I don't have a product or a service myself? Not a big deal. There's two things that you can do. One is you can find existing service providers out there, or existing products. You can find lots of service providers on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Lots of guys look and sell for like $5 or so, and you could turn it into you know, a higher end service that you charge a lot more for, and do a white label deal off that. Or just with the ideas I gave you, like the PR service, or you know the ranking one, or anything like that, you can turn around and have it be a service that you sell yourself as a white label deal. So again, a single deal here can be a business all by itself. So the fourth way, and this takes like a little bit of like a 180 turn, is to reach out to social leads. So it's a little different than the rest of the cold leads that we had talked about, but in this day and age, it's an important one to basically talk about. So instead of waiting for basically buyers to come to you, you can go to them via social media. So the internet is full of leads on social media of people and businesses looking to buy all sorts of stuff, asking questions, and so forth. Instead of waiting for them to find you, you can go to them. You can answer their questions, reply with recommendations, reach out for business deals, and so forth. And it works. This is one of the cases here where it can work both in B2B and B2C. So here's some examples, you know, of what to look for and how to reply. So like, let's say you're a lawyer, or let's say you want to work with lawyers. You could find local leads of people that are complaining about maybe getting a speeding ticket, or complaining about some other legal issue, or basically asking for advice. And if you're a lawyer, obviously you can reach out to those leads right there, especially ones in your local area. You can, you know, basically offer little advice, offer free consultation, and try to turn that into an actual deal or sale later that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Or if you're looking to sell this as a service, you reach out to a bunch of lawyers and say, hey, would you be interested in paying a monthly fee for me to, you know, find these leads for you and pass these leads on, or reply to these leads to basically offer a free consultation. A lot of the guys will jump on that because it's pretty easy to see how you could get, you know, pretty easy ROI off that. Or using like a roofing example, you could find leads of people complaining about, you know, like a roof leak or something like that. And you could reach out to them and basically offer to do like a free inspection if you're, you know, a roofer. Or you can sell it as a service where you reach out to roofers and basically offer to find leads of people who have problems with their roof, and you follow up basically offering to do a free inspection, which obviously could result in a sale worth tens of thousands of dollars right there. Or on a small end, like, you know, $10,000 up to tens of thousands of dollars for a lot of homes. In some cases, even a lot more. And it's the kind of service that, you know, a single sale could have a huge ROI on, but you could sell for, you know, hundreds of dollars a month, even up to like $1,000 a month, depending upon the business. And it's a very, you know, attractive offer where a lot of guys would say, hey, if I get one sale a year, they can, you know, make a profit off of that. So, you know, you want to make sure that when you find those leads, you want to reply not just with, hey, buy here, but like some kind of like either some free advice or free offer or free consultation or something of value first and foremost. And you want to keep in mind that this doesn't just have to be done for your own offers. Again, as I said, you could find other offers out there, you can team up with others. You know, it's super easy to make your own offer. You can even use what I'm about to show you right here to create your own offers and services and stuff. You go, as I said, to Fiverr and stuff and make your and find others that sell a certain kind of service and turn it into your own. You could also search for what's called PLR, or private label rights, and you could find all sorts of stuff that you can turn into your own product very, very cheaply. But you can also become an internet middleman to match buyers and sellers. In fact, I had one client of mine actually did this for antique cars, where he would find buyers and sellers of very hard and rare antique cars, like hard to find ones, and he'd find guys looking to sell and match up with guys looking to buy, and he'd make thousands of dollars per sale without having to really do anything himself. So there's those 4 leads and methods with them, but let's basically cover again ways to profit off of them. So here's 6 ways that you can make money now by generating leads. 1, you can generate leads for selling your own product or service. You can generate leads for basically anyone else, like local businesses or service providers. You can generate a lead database to rent or sell. You can generate leads as an affiliate or for CPA offers, which is like cost per action, where you get paid for a lead to like fill out a form or do stuff where regardless if they buy, you often get paid as well. You can find business or joint venture partners. You can become a middleman matchmaker, and a whole lot more. Again, the sky is the limit here. I mean, but the big question that most have is, how do you easily get all these leads? There's 2 basic ways, the hard way and the easy way. The hard way is by manually searching Google one by one, looking through phone books and all that stuff. And I can tell you that that can be a ton of time, and you can waste a ton of time on that stuff. They can work, but it can take a ton of time, and you really have to be a unique person to want to do all that. But the easy way, or so we thought, was to buy them. So we thought, hey, instead of having to do all that work by hand, let's try to buy some leads and see how that goes. So we thought that would be an awesome idea. So for a business idea of ours, we went to do just that. But we found out it wasn't as easy as we thought. Leads were expensive, super old. Most didn't work, and most had nothing to do with what they were meant to be. For example, we had a pretty cool thing that we thought would help car dealerships big time, as well as some other local business types and such. So we went out and specifically bought a list of car dealership contacts, and I forgot exactly what we paid, but I want to say it was like a few $1,000s or so for I think it was like maybe 500 leads. So we were paying quite a bit. It was like several dollars a lead, if not more. And we found that not only were these leads really expensive, but most of them didn't work. Like the leads were really old. A lot of the email addresses didn't work at all. A lot of the websites didn't even exist. A lot of the numbers didn't work. The ones that did work oftentimes went to a different business. It was complete crap. And we wasted a lot of money. So then we thought, hey, because we're problem solvers, not problem makers, we thought, hey, we should find a way to basically automate that ourselves to get good leads and make it super easy. Because we're like, hey, if we're having these issues, a lot of others likely are as well. And we know there's a huge lead market and there's a lot of money there. So if we're having these issues, others definitely are as well. So we thought, hey, this could be an opportunity for us right here. But normal automation wasn't really possible the way we wanted it to be, or it was super expensive or ran into legalities. Like it would be real expensive to, do the stuff we had to basically do, get the servers and all that stuff. And there was legalities that, you couldn't just essentially scrape leads off of like a search engine and stuff, or it was really expensive to use the APIs and stuff to do that stuff, or it wouldn't let you have access to like 2/3 of the data that we would want. But again, we're a problem solver and not a maker. So I met with our programming team including our really awesome head programmer who at one point even got a White House invite years back for some programming related stuff that he was doing just as like a hobby in a certain field. So really smart guy, deals with a lot of artificial intelligence and some very high-end stuff, and really awesome stuff. And I said, hey, here's what we're looking to basically do. Here's the problems we're running into. Here's what I think is a way to get around that. What are your thoughts? And after a lot of back and forth and a lot of experimentation and a lot of research, we came up with a solution, but it wasn't easy. All we had to do was to build our own search engine from scratch and literally go through millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of pages to get the info we wanted for these businesses, currently at over 100 million and growing. Why did we have to do this? Why did we have to build our own search engine and do all this stuff from scratch? Well, it was to get around legalities, too strict API rules, limits on the data that we need, and no one else seemed to provide the kind of stuff that we needed. So we had to do this all ourselves from scratch. So we did that. We did all that work ourselves. It took a really long time, and literally did what I think is a really awesome, really amazing job to really create what I call the unfair advantage. And that's what we later called Macroleads, which is basically taking lead generation to a whole new level. So just gonna pause the screen for a second here as I switch on over to the demo so I can explain this as I show it off. So there's some pretty neat stuff here. All right. All right, so in a second we'll be inside. We just had to re-log in really quick right here because it's been a bit. So you'll see this right here. So we're inside of Macroleads. It is web-based software, so it works on a Mac as well as Windows. I'm on a Mac right now, and what you basically do is it's kind of like a search engine for leads, or kind of like a reverse search engine almost, where you can find leads literally of anything that you want. So whether you're looking for local business leads, whether you're looking for bloggers of a certain kind, whether you're looking for certain businesses, you can search for all those right here. So I'll just show like what you'd want to basically do is like, let's say let's say you wanted to find I don't know, like I have a saved search here of dentists, but let's just do a new search of maybe massage. Oops, I forgot to click. Yeah, massage therapist, and we'll say Atlanta, Georgia, or something along those lines there. And it can be any keyword. It does not have to be a localized search term. You can also have the advanced tab right here where not on top of finding if what their phone is, what their email is, what their site is, what their name is, and all that. There's some additional info that you can optionally show, like like what what their Facebook link is if they mention one, what their Twitter link is, if they have any contact forms on top of emails. You can also show if they use a schema on their site. Now that's basically mostly useful, as is this right here. These two right here are mostly useful if you're selling like some kind of like a web service or like an SEO one. A schema is something that helps websites rank and basically helps them have like a click to a call or do some neat stuff like that. In fact, I'll pause it and show you a quick example because there's a couple people asking on that. All right, just trying to find a quick example right here. So, most of you have probably seen ones like this. So here is a good example right here. So when I search for a Harry Potter tour, London, UK, you see this big thing right here. That's through the use of a schema. So it can show up here. Sometimes you can have stuff show up right here. Like I'll pause it as I do another search really quick right here. All right, so here's a search where I did Chinese restaurant near me. A lot of stuff shows up through the use of a schema. So if you have like the ratings and the address and how expensive it is, all that is done through the use of a schema. So if you're selling like something where you add a schema, on to a site, that's the kind of thing it'd be useful to know if they have a schema or not to start with. And so that's and again, we have like there's extra tools out there like Webfire is really good at like helping you make schemas. So if you want to sell that stuff or want to sell SEO, you can easily do that. There's other stuff that's other advanced things, like if you want to look for like certain things on a site that's specific to it, you can. Then we just click search right here, and usually within about 15 seconds or so, it will start to show some leads up here. And that's what's really awesome with this right here, is that it's a really quick search right there, and it will not only show those leads, but once it shows those leads, it will start to actually go through all those sites, all those leads in real time, and pull real-time data off them. So that you get like the latest, the latest email, the latest phone, the latest links, all that stuff right there. And anywhere where it says loading, like you'll see some like right here, that means that it's essentially loading right then in real time right there. You can also let's just a partial search right here. A full search that I did right here for dentist in Madison, Wisconsin. We see right here that we have 56 leads right here, and you get all that info filled out. So it will say loading. It will slowly fill that all out within usually like a minute or so. And we get the domain name, we get the title, we get the emails, we get the Facebook links if we want, we get the Twitter links if we want, we get the phones if we want. If there's a contact form, we can optionally show that. We get the addresses. We can see if it has a schema or any kind of structured data on it, like lots of optional advanced stuff that you can have. So you don't have to search for all that stuff. And then of course, like not all the sites will have Facebook and stuff like that, but if it does, it has a link to all that right there. And the cool part is we have a cool way of finding not only real-time leads on the site, like we say, like right here it shows those real-time leads. You can also see who registered the domain as well. So if we don't pull a lead, if there's no leads shown on the site, you can check to see if there's a contact form, like right here on on the right side it has that, or you can load the who is record as well, and it can actually load the email address of who registered that site as well. So this is a pretty cool thing right here. And you can also have this be, again, this isn't just for like local leads, like right here, we could do in this search, like I had, now with the prior one for like the dentist, that's like if you want to sell like a service to like a dentist, or if you dealt with like a business that does a lot of business with dentists, that'd be a great way to get leads there. And it doesn't just have to be local. You could do a worldwide search, as well if you want. Right here, I just have one for essentially custom t-shirt maker. So let's say that we had some cool product that you know, would sell really well to you know, let's say those that make like a custom shirt, or if we want to do like a white label deal with them, or you know, anything like that, we could reach out to all those guys, you know, with a click of a button. But we first, you know, would have to find those leads. So right here, if let's say we want to make a deal where we think, hey, we're, you know, a shirt seller and we could sell wholesale shirts to these custom makers for less than their competition, you know, potentially we'd want to reach out to all these big places right here where we have 132, where we can get their names, their websites, their email addresses, their Facebook and Twitter accounts, their phones, their addresses if they have them. If there's like a contact form. In this case, I did not do all of the advanced options right here, just to save a little time right there, but we see a ton of leads right here. And the cool part is for some larger searches, if there's like, you know, thousands of leads or anything like that, it limits the first one to less than 200 leads. So you never have to deal with like, you know, thousands of leads at once or anything like that. So you just click next if that's the case right there. Like I think in this one right here, yeah, in this one right here, we have over 1,000 leads. In this case, I said, hey, search for internet marketer or digital marketer or web marketer, and we find tons and tons of leads, and these are all internet marketers. And you see the leads right here where, you know, you have the domain, you have the title, you have the emails, you have the Facebook links of the ones that have that, you have the Twitter ones, you know, on the ones that have like a phone or physical address. Now, a lot of these, because, you know, if you're like an internet marketer, you might not have your phone or your address on there, so it wouldn't list it if it's not there. But you'd have the contact forms and all that other info right there. You can see all that right here. Super, super cool. And what's neat here is that you know, you get all this info right here, but we also have a cool option. This is like a really advanced then too, where you can see exactly where it grabbed the email from. So if you do a search, you'll see some will show up in green. I actually stopped the search partway through. But if you click any of the emails in green right here, oops, didn't mean to do that. If you right click, that's what I meant to say, not if you click. It will show you a preview of where it actually pulled up the email from, like where it actually has that email address on that site. It takes about like usually about 15 seconds or so to go through and like identify that, and it'll show the actual graphic or the actual you know, spot that it actually mentioned that right there. So pretty neat then to do, and just another extra feature to kind of go the extra mile right there. And as it basically does that, I'll show off another search here. This is another kind of lead. So with this past search right here, what you could do with like the internet marketer search, you could, let's say, you know, if you're trying to do like a white label deal, or if you have a product that you think would really benefit that, you know, you could reach out to guys like that. You could strike a deal with them. You could try to get affiliates. You could do literally kind of like whatever you know, you want with that. Whereas with this next example right here, I have weight loss blog. This would be one where, let's say you have a weight loss product, or you have a PR service that you're basically running, and you have a client that has like a weight loss product or weight loss book. You could reach out to all the weight loss blogs, and you could add like a bunch of other keywords. It's just one keyword right here, 847 leads right here. And you get, you know, the websites, you get the contact forms, email addresses, you know, Facebook and Twitter. You can reach out to them. You can even export those leads if you want as well, and I'll show you how it's super easy to actually email those leads as well. And you can basically say, you know, hey, I see you have a blog on this. You know, if you're interested in guest blog posts, here's one that's unique to you, or here's one that I can make unique to you if you want, blah, blah. And you could reach out in this case to over 800 right off the bat right there and have a shot at, even if you got only a tiny handful of those to run that post for you, that's free publicity. And to get this kind of data in real time so easily is really absolutely amazing. Again, there's nothing else out there like this that lets you actually search for leads of literally anything that you want. And just scrolling down, you see tons and tons and tons of leads right here. You get all that info. You get their email, you get their Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff right there. And on top of that, again, it shows 200 leads per page. You can load the next page and get 200 more. In this case, 847 right there. So pretty cool thing to do right there. And oh, and I'll show off as well. I forgot to go back. If you want to do like a preview of the email address, you can just like right click these, and like in this case, here's a preview right here where it shows like exactly where it has the email address shown, and you can do that for anything that you want. Just right click those and find those, or you can just load the who is data and it will show exactly who registered it as well right there. So I'll do one more to show off that. And yeah, so that's pretty neat stuff right there. And again, you can do this for anything that you want. So whether you're trying to find leads of local businesses to market to, you can do that. Whether you're trying to find leads for basically another business where you like rent or sell those to another business, you can do that. Whether you're trying to find leads to do white label deals, you can do that. Whether you're trying to find leads to have like a PR service, you can do that. Literally, the sky's the limit, regardless of what you sell or want to sell, or even if you want to turn this into a service yourself. This is a great way to really get not only tons and tons and tons of leads, but to, really open up tons of opportunities to do almost anything you want. I mean, I've never seen a niche that you couldn't use us on to do some really, really awesome stuff with, and really get some really awesome, amazing results as well. So again, really awesome thing. And let's see, what others? Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot to show off is that you can also do like, oh, let's see here. Okay, let me do one more. Or say there's a person that just asked here if I could show a search from scratch right here. Okay, sure. Let me open a new window right here. All right, so we'll do like a full search. We'll do massage Atlanta, Georgia. So like this would be like massage type places. We'd click, and then you could search for any keyword you want. So like if you search for like massage by itself, you'd find massage places in the entire world, but that'd be huge. Whereas here in Atlanta, we have 111, and I just have the default info, right there. I could add more info if I want. Again, I could show the Facebook, Twitter, and all that as well. So again, super easy. And if you want to have it for, let's say, I don't know, let's say you deal with, I'm trying to think of like a global thing, like let's say you deal, what's a good example? Immigration lawyers or real estate investors or real estate management. Let's say you have some software to help with real estate management. You could just do a search like, real estate management, or, anything you essentially wanted. Do a new search there. And again, usually within like 15 seconds, you find the initial leads. And then after it shows you those, it will go through all those leads. And that next part can take up to like a minute or so to kind of go through each then and pull up the, info in real time. And what's neat is that these aren't old leads. So this is constantly finding, like right here, we have, I mean, look, 25,000 leads, over 25,000 leads in real estate management. And right here, everywhere where it says loading, in the next while, it will start to show if there's like a Facebook or like a Twitter account mentioned on that page, and you know what the address is. You see the address right here. Some say loading. That means it's actually trying to pull up that info in real time right now. So I'll actually we'll just stop that search partway through because that's a really large search there. But yeah, so pretty neat stuff. But we also have an extra feature, which is a neat one, where as a bonus, we allow you to also search on social media itself. So this is just a bonus tool that we basically threw on top of this, where let's search for, in this case, people in back pain. Like, you know, we have some keywords like back hurts, hurt my back problem. You can have it on a local scale if you want. You just click on location right here, and you can specify anywhere you want in the world and any distance around that in miles or kilometers. In this case, I'll just do globally right now. Click on leads, and we see all these people in back pain, like this one saying my back hurts like a bitch. My lower back hurts so bad from walking. I'm an old woman. My God, my back hurts so bad. So yeah, all these leads right here of people in back pain, and again, tons and tons and tons of them right there. Each page is limited to 100 leads. You just click next and get, you know, 100 more. For a lot of terms like this, you might get like 1,000+ leads a day. You see this, these are from today right here. If you do a new search 5 minutes from now, you'll see some new leads literally show up in that time right there. And what you can do is you can get some info on them, like how many friends and followers they have and stuff like that. Like this one has more than that guy does right there. You can also choose, there's a few things. You can automatically write them a message if you want. Of course, you want to do like a non-spammy link, like in this case, you know, if you had like a back pain product, or if you're like a chiropractor, you could say if these were local ones, say in that case, you'd want to go back and make it be a local search, but you'd say, hey, you know, I see that you're in back pain. You know, I'm a chiropractor. It looks like we're in the same town. I'd be happy to give you like a free adjustment or a free consultation or whatever for your first time. That'd be a great way to get some new patients in there. That could be worth a lot more money, because usually, you know, if you go in for one adjustment, you go in for a lot more. Or if you were selling a product on like how to get rid of back pain, you could say, hey, here's a couple tips I found to really help. I wrote an entire blog post or made a video on it. You can see a lot more, and you can send a link there, or you can have like an extra pitch or something tagged on to that right there if you want. You can also choose to follow these leads, and oftentimes they have a setting where they'll instantly follow you back, which means that any post you do on your site in the future, they'll automatically get an update on. So you can literally build a list overnight, in minutes, in any niche. And you can find, you know, people that are into personal development. You can find people that are into weight loss, people that are looking to buy a house, whatever you want. Like people that are looking for gift ideas, people that are looking to start a business, people that are looking to lose weight, people that own land, people that are looking to, like, you know, move. Like if you're like a realtor, you can find all those leads right here very, very easily and do the exact same thing. And again, you can even turn it into a service that you sell as well. So all these things you can quickly and easily do, and works incredibly well. And again, that's just an added bonus tool on top of the main offer, or of the main tool we have right here. So it's a pretty good walkthrough. I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I go on back to the presentation. All right, so with Macroleads, you now can scour the entire internet for leads on literally any keyword. You can find leads for all those kinds that we basically covered, and that can be business leads, media leads, social media leads, you know, so on and so forth. You can easily export them to mail from wherever you want, including manually through personal accounts like Gmail or wherever you use, or you can also use a specialized code lead autoresponder as well. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. You can pull their email, phone, website, names and businesses, social media presence, so on and so forth. It loads and searches their data in real time, can detect things like schemas, different data structures, so on and so forth. So if you're like an advanced user, you can use it to find almost anything on their site. And it's always growing and updating. Literally millions and millions and millions and millions in there. There was over 100 million different businesses in there as of like a month ago. Now it's probably a lot more than that. It's always growing and updating. And we have special artificial intelligence designed to adapt and add more features over time. So with Macroleads, how can you make money? Well, there's a few ways. One, you can sell your own products and services to targeted leads. You can reach out to media leads for tons of free exposure. You can make business deals or partnerships easily. You can even find those looking to buy on social media. You now have the power to identify very targeted leads to sell or rent for pure profit. So with Macroleads, you don't even need a website because it's like a reverse search engine. It's like a lead search engine. You can find leads out there in real time. Literally anyone who needs leads can benefit. The opportunities are nearly endless. Now, this is a brand new lead tool that we haven't even launched yet. In fact, it's live now and works, but it won't be available to the public until later in July, so like a bit later on in the month, possibly early next month. But it'll be targeted more towards big bulk lead buying businesses, and I'll talk a bit more on that later, because again, there's a lot of money in that. But we previously launched a lead tool that did a tiny fraction of this one, and here's what some of those users had to say. So on a prior one that did just a fraction of this, here's what those ones said. Found 83 people looking for I can offer. It's amazing how easily you can find leads. I just did a search for potential customers and found 83 people looking for exactly what I can offer. David in Austin, Texas. And he goes on to say more powerful than Google. This is a more powerful tool than top rankings in Google. Your software allows you to see inside the mind of your future customers because it allows you to spy in on what they're already looking for, your products and services. Here's one. Got my first two clients which paid for my investment in your software system. Your leads with your lead system, I struck gold. After completing a course on social media marketing, I decided to search for prospects in need of social media. I scored 2 new clients. These 2 contracts alone paid for my investment in your lead software. This is from Birgit Reichert in Vallejo. Here's one. Thank you for helping me build my retirement fund. He says, I generated 60 targeted leads in less than 5 minutes. In just 3 days, I have made a profit of $3,677. Thanks to your software, I'll be living in a warmer climate a little sooner than I had planned. This is Billy Graham in Durham, UK. So apparently it's pretty cold there. That made a profit of over $3.5 grand in just 3 days. Here's one, 50,000 in revenue off of 1 lead. He says, I found over 5,000 such leads with your software. The ongoing relationship I've had with 1 client has generated over 50,000 in revenue so far. This is from Kelly Conway in Kansas City. Here's one, already selling at $500 per referral. Hi guys, just a quick note to tell you that your software is phenomenal. In less than 1 week, I had a deal in place to sell website leads to a website provider from $500 per referral. I couldn't believe it, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Your support system and team are outstanding. You guys are the real deal, and put your money where your mouth is. Thanks again from Andrew Simic in New Zealand. Here's one, and this goes beyond just making money. Here's someone that used the software to help a ton of people. He actually created a national network of 120 new jobs for his company. He says, with the downturn of the economy, my market was really slowing down. With your software, I've been able to create a national network to help those struggling professionals help find work. To date, I've helped over 120 people find new jobs to replace ones that have been terminated, downsized, or looking to close. Not only have I created a good opportunity for my company, but I've increased the cash flow for them and my own program and my own services. I want to say thanks for coming up with this program. Keep up the great work, Matt Lister in Fort Myers. So not only did he use this to make a lot of money, he literally helped 120 people, or more than 120 people, find new work. So really awesome job there. Here's one that says your software is the best product we've ever purchased. This is from Gail that worked at AmeriFirst Mortgage, which is the #1 mortgage company in Arizona, or was at least at the time of this right here. So again, real people, real businesses using this software right here. All right, there. This next one I think has to be like a record. This is an exceptional record right here. 12,000 profits in the first 4 hours of using the software. Daniel Zarco says, I generated $12,000 in cash after using your lead program in the first 4 hours of owning the software. And I think this has to be like a record of the most money made off of anything in the least amount of time. So he was probably a pretty happy guy right there. And the funny thing is he didn't actually even have a product or service of his own. He actually followed some of the training and stuff that we had to kind of be almost like a middleman to match up some buyers and sellers, and did 12,000 in cash right like that. And that was, I believe that was actually his profit, or his essentially cut right there too. So pretty awesome stuff. So quick overview. You get a complete license to use our proprietary software. You get 300,000 credits, where it's 1 credit per lead to use at your own pace. And any extra leads are only a penny a lead. So you get 300,000 leads, or 300,000 credits right off the bat to use at your own pace, whether it's in a week or in a few years, whatever you want. You also get extra training and support, so that's all backed by us. So the total value of the leads, if you conservatively said, hey, let's say these leads are only a quarter a lead, for 300,000 leads, that would be $75,000. And the quality of these leads is far, far better than what you'll find in a lot of other lists out there, where they actually charge you like several dollars a lead for stuff that were like, we found half the leads weren't even like real or relevant. So ours are like a fraction of that. But if you said that, hey, conservatively, let's say these are a quarter each, that would be a value of $75,000. If you said that they were $1 each, that'd be $300,000 right there. So the normal price of $75,000 a year isn't anywhere near what your investment will be. In fact, you won't even have to pay a per year price. You'll just have to pay a one-time price right here to get those credits. So you'll be able to get 300,000 leads, or 300,000 credits, where it's again 1 credit per lead, for only $2,997 one time. That's less than a penny a lead. Again, conservatively, we said these leads, if it's a quarter a lead for this real-time data, really awesome leads that you can search for any keyword you want, that'd be $75,000 of value right there. You can actually get that for less than $3,000. That's less than a penny a lead for 300,000 leads. Or you can also have a payment plan of $1,197 per month for 3 months. And you can add more credits at a penny a lead if you go over that. Now, this won't last that long. So as I said, in the future, when we roll this out to the public, it will be much more expensive. It won't be a penny a lead or anything like that. And it will also be a monthly fee. Then it will probably be, we're actually looking to target larger places at about $3,000 or so a month. Not $3,000 for 300,000 leads as a one-time thing. So this really is a steal of a deal right here. So compare that to $1 for crappy leads, or $10 to $20 or more for okay quality leads. Yes, some lead places would literally charge you $300,000 to $3 million or more for leads without even them being real-time or containing half the info that we do. And as a special bonus, we'll also give you 1 year of an autoresponder service that specializes in cold leads for free for unlimited emails for the first 10,000 leads. You'll get a special code to get your first year free and have an easy way to reach out to these leads. Now, of course, you can still mail them any other way you want. So if you want to export them and mail them through like Gmail or wherever you want, that's perfectly fine. But for those that want to use an autoresponder service that specializes in this, we made a special deal with an existing one out there to basically offer this to you for a first year absolutely free. Bonus number 2, you'll get free updates, including we have a bunch are currently being worked on. In fact, ones that we just got done, we actually, as you saw, we had the Facebook and Twitter and schema features done, where you can see which ones have a Facebook account and what their links is, or what their links are. Same with essentially Twitter and all that right there. That we just got done, in the past week or so. Those are free. So all those updates are free right there. And one that's actually being worked on that will come soon is we have one called lookalike leads, which is being worked on, where you can actually say what leads are your ideal leads, or even if you have existing buyers, you can show it those leads and it will actually scour all those sites, all those leads that we have, and say, hey, we actually looked at essentially dozens and dozens and dozens of different factors on these sites, and these are the ones that we feel are most likely going to be buyers for you, or the most interested in your stuff. So not just like, hey, let's say you deal with dentists, or let's say you deal with internet marketers. It'll go the extra mile and say, hey, not only will we look at that, we'll see what your best leads have in common with all these ones, look at all these different data points, and try to line up which ones we think would be the best of the best prospects for you and most likely to buy your service or product. That, guys, is worth a fortune, an absolute fortune. You guys will get that completely for free with this. We're also working on a feature to make it super easy if you want to send postcards, or if you want to use a calling service. So instead of email, if you want to have a service where we automatically call those leads for you, we're having that being worked on. Of course, to actually have a human call would cost it costs some extra dough, but we'd have that built in where you can easily integrate with those places right there and have them call the stuff for you on autopilot if you wish, or you can send out essentially postcards with a click of a button. Just like how you can export leads right now with a click of a button, we're working on a feature where you can send postcards or use a calling service. So very, very awesome right there. Bonus number 3, you get free support and training. You get free, very, very, very top-notch and fast support. So if you have a question or an issue, we'll make sure that not only you get a response super fast, usually within an hour or so, as long as it's like during like a normal daytime. If you're right at 3 in the morning, you might have to wait till like 9 or 10 when they get back in work. But not only will they get back to you really, really fast, but they'll make sure that all your problems and all your questions are actually answered. And if they don't know the answer to your question, they'll find the person who can answer it. So I hate always jumping through like hurdles with other supports that I've used for like other businesses. That's why I make sure that our own are top notch like that. And of course, you also get the current and the future trainings as well. So when we do any trainings in the future, you get all those for free as well. And bonus number 4, which is a big one, you can join our referral program, and a single sale can actually make you far, far, far more than your entire investment right here. So you'll have the ability to sell our full price version and earn up to $1,000 per month per buyer in commissions. That's $12,000 a year per buyer. You can actually make many times your investment back off of a single sale here. That's because the normal version of this, which is the one that will be available to everyone else, you guys get the special deal and the special access, but the normal one will be about $3,000 per month or $36,000 per year on up. Okay, and for the basic one right there, you can get $12,000 a year in commissions per buyer. If there's a larger one, you can even get more. But that's the price that we're basically shooting for when we launch this. And you guys will get exclusive access to the affiliate program right there, where you guys will get the best of the best, because you'll get a fraction of the price to get in to use the stuff, but you can be an affiliate and sell at the normal price, which would still be a fraction of what all these places are used to basically paying, and get a good amount of money back per sale right there, where again, a single sale can make many times your full investment back right here. So as I said, when we launch the public version of this within the next month or so, we'll be targeting high-end lead buyers that spend 5 to 6 figures a year on leads that we can beat the quality of easily. We'll be targeting a price of about $3,000 per month or $36,000 per year. That sounds like a lot, but it's actually very cheap compared to what a lot of them pay now. And we'll actually be giving them better data, because not only can they get all the data that there is now, and it's done in real time as well, so there won't be old leads, but on top of it, one of the future updates will allow customizations. So if you want to have a customized then where, hey, you only want leads that not only are this keyword, but also mention this and that, and have this on their site, you can do that. So like right now, you can search for like I showed an example where you say like keyword 1 or keyword 2 or keyword 3. You can also do like keyword 1 and keyword 2, stuff like that. Like that's all there now, but we'll have even more advanced customizations where it'll really be a game changer, because these businesses that are used to buying leads now have a way to like tap into and really kind of get any kind of customized lead that they want, which is like a dream for a lot of these guys right here. And just to show like how much money is spent on leads and how these can be worth a fortune. So Sean, one time years ago, prior to this, when we were looking into buying some leads and stuff, he called like one of the big lead places once, where like it costs like usually a couple dollars or more a lead for just a random lead, like not one specifically for you. And he said almost every week since then, he gets a call from a new sales guy from that same company. So they've literally have gone through dozens and dozens of workers to basically call him every week to try to ask if he wants more leads and to try to sell him more. And if someone can have dozens of employees calling you on that, that means there's a lot of money to be made. They have huge margins. That's why we're able to basically offer a steal of a deal on this and have it be a fraction of what the competition is. But through technology, we can offer more. So we're not only the cheapest option by far, we're also on top of that, we have the highest quality and the most data that you can get out there, and the most customization on top of all that right there. So again, we're opening up a very exclusive affiliate program to our first users to have a chance to earn up to $1,000 a month per buyer in commissions. That's $12,000 a year per buyer that you can get, and we'll have some trainings on how to do that when we launch it. We'll show exactly who our target prospects and stuff are, and you can help kind of grow with us and earn a lot of money at the same time as well, to truly be a win-win. And that's just some extra icing on the cake, as you'll have access to all these leads and opportunities at a fraction of the price. So again, we're basically opening this up to you because it really will be a win-win for both sides right there, and we can all grow together. So remember, you get 300,000 leads or credits for only $2,997. That's less than a penny a lead. Now, I want to share one last important email and a point. So A ways back, we had a client that used a prior version, of our lead tool, and initially he reached out to some leads and he wasn't making any sales, and he was really upset. He was like, "Oh, this sucks, it doesn't work, blah blah." And I'm like, "Okay, well, before you complain, let's take a look at what you're trying to sell. Let's take a look at what your basic offer is." And what we found is that it wasn't the leads, it was his offer. He was trying to sell something that no one was interested in. It may have been something that would have sold in like the 1980s, but no one would be interested in it now. But it was related to some stuff that there was a huge market in. With just a few simple tweaks, he could have a comparable product that a lot of people would probably be interested in. And well, what happened? Let's see. Here's what he said. So after we helped him out, he reached out to us a short ways after and was real excited. He says, "Hi, I purchased your software last year, and after a couple false starts, I was determined to give it a go." So he set aside 4 hours of his day, and he says, "Well, what can I say? After swapping a few emails with one of the generated leads, I've just secured a contract worth over $20,000. I also generated many other leads that will also bear fruit. Incredible. I now realize that I have a tap that I can turn on or off at will. Fantastic. Great work, guys. Thanks, Alan Jessen." So literally, he went from making nothing to making a sale worth, again, $20,000 by just following our advice. And that's why we recommend that if you get stuck or need help or anything, let us know. We are here to help you guys. And that's why you can take advantage of this right now. You can get the revolutionary leads system called Macroleads. You can get, and this again is brand new, it hasn't even been launched to the public yet. You guys get special access. I want to share off the new features that we had, like the Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff right there, because that's really awesome stuff. You guys have seen just in a short time, we've made massive improvements. You can get 300,000 leads or credits for only $2,997 as a one-time payment. That's less than a penny a lead. You can save a bit right there, or if you need a payment plan, you can do that as well. We have a three pay of $1,197 per month for three months. You can get both those deals at macroleads.com/deal. Once again, that's macroleads.com/deal to take advantage of that right now. And again, that is less than a penny per lead. And if you need more than 300,000 leads, which I think would be like a crazy amount, especially when you can get any kind of leads that you want, you can buy additional leads for a penny a piece. So we lock you in at the special rate. If you wait, the only way in the future most likely will be after the public launch, where again, we're looking to sell this at more like $3,000 a month to get access, and you'd get less leads with that as well. It'd be like 3,000 a month, and we'd have a limit of probably 100,000 leads right there. So this really is an amazing way to get access, an amazing way to get leads at a fraction of the price, and to do all those different ways of making money, whether it be marketing a product or service directly to any of those leads, whether it be finding leads to do like a business deal with, or like a white label deal with, whether it be turning it into like a PR service to find all the media leads and stuff and reach out for either your own products or services or websites, or actually having it be like a service that you sell for basically others and doing that. Again, super easy. The sky is the limit here. But again, tons of opportunity, but you have to go to macroleads.com/deal. And once again, this can work anywhere in the world, whether it be a local lead or a global lead or whatever you want. Literally any keyword you search for, it can find leads for. And we have a walkthrough and some training on how to help with that and how to best get like the best kind of leads that you're looking for. You also get the bonus tool of the social media lead tool as well, where you can find leads off of social media. That alone is worth the investment right here. You guys get access to that for free as well, and that's on top of all this right here. But you have to go to macroleads.com/deal right now. And yes, this is web-based software. So yes, it works on a Mac as well as Windows. As long as you can go online, you're perfectly fine. And yes, every month, again, we're doing new updates and all that. You get that for free. And on top of that, every day, it's searching tons and tons and tons and tons of sites. It's pulling in new leads. It literally is a search engine that we run in the background with massive resources, and that's why this really is a steal of a deal right here, and that's why this really is a revolutionary system that can change the name of the game when it comes to leads, where you can essentially pinpoint the exact kind of leads that you want. So with that, once again, make sure you go to macroleads.com/deal to take advantage of that right now. I see a lot of you have been asking questions, so I will try to see. I know Sharon's been on this call to help answer some, but I'll see what questions I may have missed. Okay. All right, here's a great question. They said, if you do the same search now and 1 week from now, would you get sort of the same leads? Yes and no. So the leads, like if you searched right now and searched, a week from now or a month from now, chances are a lot of the prior leads you still would get because they're still there. If someone's out of business and stuff, those might go away. But if there's any new leads in that time, those would show up as well. So this is constantly growing and adding new leads and all that as well right there. So yeah, you're always getting new leads, but it's not like you lose the old leads that are still actual leads and good. So those would still be there. And yes, you certainly could. So this person asked if you could search for a keyword like Shopify or like a store, like an e-com term, or there's like a couple other things. Yes, you certainly could search for all those and find tons and tons and tons and tons of leads. All right, this person asked, what do you mean when you refer to as stuff showing up? So we showed off how you can get the leads of like the websites, leads of the business names, leads of the email addresses, the phones, the physical addresses, the Facebook and Twitter accounts, and a whole bunch of other data like that. And you can search for any kind of lead or any kind of keywords that you want to have the stuff show up. And yes, there's a question here, if it could find leads of CPAs or like accountants. Absolutely, yes, that'd be super easy. In that case, you could do a search for like accountants or CPA, or if you want to have it on like a localized scale, you could do like accountants Atlanta, Georgia, or CPA Atlanta, Georgia, or CPA firm, something along those lines. That would all work really well there. So that'd be good. All right. Cool. And yes, you certainly could use this, and we showed the example in like the real estate area, like or in like the real estate niche. We showed, like, I think I had an example search that I did here where I did real estate management. I forgot the amount that we had, but it was, oh yeah, I think it was like 25,000 plus leads just for that right there. So like if you were in that niche and you wanted to do deals with those guys or something, you could do that. If you wanted to find real estate investors, you could do that. If you want to use the social media tool, you could actually find those that are looking to buy a house, or those are looking to house hunt, or those that are looking to sell. So that'd be a huge thing right there. You could even do a local search and find those as well on the social media bonus tool, which I showed as well. All right, I think we had all the questions answered. I know Sharon's been answering some as well, but again, this is a limited time deal right here, so this really likely would probably be your last chance to jump in on this. I know we had a prior call once on this, but we had a bunch of new features that we wanted to show off since then, so we thought, hey, this would be a good chance to do that right there. But I highly encourage you to jump on this right now. Just again, go to macroleads.com/deal. And with that, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. If you go to the link that you see right there, there is a support email at the very bottom. If you have any questions, it's just support@firstratesupport.com. Again, it's just support@firstratesupport.com. They're happy to essentially answer any question that you have. Yeah, all right. All right. And yep, once you purchase this, you will get an email probably within like a minute or two or so. If not, check your spam just in case. And if not, just write support@firstratesupport.com. You can also write support@macroleads.com as well. And they can pass on the info to you, but you should automatically receive the login. It's all pretty easy to use. Not much of a learning curve, but yeah, definitely suggest you jump on this right here. We'll have this offer up for a short time right here, but it really is something that you want to jump on. I know this is a completely new, completely different software than anything else we've done in the past. We've dealt with some other like lead software and stuff in the past, but we never had one that was like a search engine that we built from scratch that could do all the stuff that we can do right now. So really awesome stuff. Really takes us then to like a whole new level, and really does some, again, pretty cool stuff right there. So with that, if you guys have any other questions, make sure to reach out to us. We'll keep this offer up for just a little bit longer right here, but you definitely want to jump on that right now. And yes, a person asked here if they could use the PayPal credit. That'd be fine by me, Sharon, if you could get them the link on that or help out them right there. All right. All right. Oh yeah, Mike. Just reach out to support@firstratesupport.com right there, and they can sort out that. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or any issues, just write support@firstratesupport.com. You can also write support@macroleads.com as well. They both go to the same spot right there. We'll keep this open for a little longer. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to us. We will not have this up too long, just because this really is an amazing deal, and it literally is a fraction of what it will be sold for in the future, because you can see the value and all the stuff that this can do right here, and how really awesome that this is. And you guys not only can basically jump on board to get access to all those leads, but on top of that, you can get access to be affiliate or like a reseller as well, where a single purchase makes many times more what the total investment is right there. So we both can kind of grow along the same time right there. So with that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And with that, we'll wrap this up, and hope that you guys have a great rest of the day. So once again, make sure you go to macroleads.com/deal. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and you see the contact info at the very bottom of that. And with that, have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you guys later. Take care.